All right, Shalom. This is the brother Yawanathan, about our one coming at you in a lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. But first and foremost, as always, we want to start by giving all praises and glorifications to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Kakodash, the honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone Well. Peace, love, salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom. All right, this is going to be another weekly MOTB video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. The Lord will not pray that it's edifying. All right, so as you see here, you have the image of the grain of rice, just another code word for the MOTB we use here at Great Millstone. But everybody, oh yeah, by the way, the title of the lesson is going to be everybody's going to be tested with this, or everybody's going to be tested with the MOTB. And yeah, everybody's going to be tested with what you see here, man. The sea hill, okay? All right, the modern day name for it is the RFID micro seal, man. All right, and it is the mark of the what according to the Bible. Okay, everybody's going to be tested with it, and these rapture believers, they believe they're just going to go unscathed. They're not going to go through any kind of tribulation, okay, any kind of troubles, and they're just gonna be raptured up and escape, the hell that's coming. No. Matter of fact, I'm going to start off with that scripture real quick. Okay, and I'm going to go to ChatGPT and get that brief synopsis on their doctrine. Okay, this is Acts, I believe, 14 and 22. Right, this is Acts 14 and 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples. Right, the disciples were, later apostles who followed Yahweh Shah. And they were men of the Lord for the most part. Okay, and they went through hell. They went through tribulation. Okay, they died for the ministry. And you're gonna have martyrs today. Some brothers are gonna die for this word, man. Okay? Because they were tested. So it says again, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. What's faith if you just gonna how you gonna show your faith if you're just gonna escape scot-free? You're just gonna be raptured up, okay, in the heavens without going through any type of test or trouble, proving yourself, man. Okay, making your body a living sacrifice, right? It says, and exhorting them to continue in the faith. Remember, without faith it's impossible to please the Most High, right? So you rapture believers are not pleasing the Lord at all, man. So it says, and that we must through much tribulation. Let me read this part again. It says, and that we must through much tribulation, another word for trouble, right? Enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So you're not going through any tribulation if you just rapture it up, man. What the fuck you going through? You ain't going through shit. You just got it easy. Okay, you just gonna escape the tribulations scot-free? No, man. You gotta go through. You gotta be tested. Everybody's gonna be tested, man. Okay, everybody's gonna be tested. So let me go to ChatGPT and I ask it to give them a brief synopsis of the stupid ass rapture doctrine. All right, it says here's a brief, simple synopsis of the rapture doctrine. It says the rapture doctrine teaches, which doctrine means teach, right? Or teaching. It says the rapture doctrine teaches the believers, or that believers in says Jesus Christ, but we know him as Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, right? That believers in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach will be suddenly taken or caught up. Well, I'm gonna just say Jesus Christ because that's his doctrine. This is not the doctrine of Yahweh Shah. So let me start from the top again. It says the rapture doctrine teaches that believers in Jesus Christ will be suddenly taken or caught up from the earth to meet him in the air before a period of time of end time judgment comes upon the world. It says this idea is largely based on interpretations of passages like 1 Thessalonians 5 and 16 through 17 and 1 Corinthians 15 verses 51 through 52. Okay? And I'm finna get those scriptures. Let me read these key points real quick. It says key points in many rapture teachings. It says a sudden event Jesus returns secretly or unexpectedly to gather his followers, which that's true. And it's certain followers. First and foremost, you got to be an Israelite. First and foremost, like I said, you got to be an Israelite, and then you got to be part of that elect number. And everything's predestinated, okay? And you rapture believers, you damn sure as hell is not predestinated for salvation, because nobody's saved. It tells you that in Jeremiah, the 8th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, okay? Because they think they're already saved. They think their so-called sins are already covered, but it's not, okay? It says believers caught up, Christians are transformed and taken to meet Christ in the air. Right, that's going to happen pursuing the 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, right? It says right here, escape from tribulation. It says many churches teach the rapture happens before a 7-year tribulation, which we don't even know what time when. We don't even know when the Lord coming back. So you can't determine, all right, when these certain events going to happen in the first place. These rapture believers had many dates when they said the Lord was going to come back and rapture them up, and all of them failed. Most recently, you had one back in fall, I think it's August, and the Lord still ain't show up, right? Proving their doctrine to be what? False. See? So that's all I'm gonna read on that. Let me go ahead and get these scriptures, man. Okay, get some more of these scriptures. Let's get 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, and start at verse 16. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua himself shall descend from heaven with a shout," and that shout represents the 7th trump, "with the voice of the archangel and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first." See, the dead in Yahweh shall rise first, because you had those that actually passed, that actually died in this truth. Okay, men who are of the stock of Israel, okay, who are predestined from the very beginning to be saved, right? That died in this truth, all right, teaching the gospel the correct way, and they didn't believe in Jesus Christ. They believed on Yahweh Shah, okay, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, okay. So those men are gonna get called up, all right, after the tribulation, and this is gonna be after the tribulation. Verse 17, it says, "Then we which are alive and remain." Now, why does it say then which we are alive and remain? Again, you're gonna have those that die in this ministry, man. There's gonna be martyrs. Okay. Let's further prove that. Let's get Mark, the 9th chapter, in the 1st verse. Okay, it says, "And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death." See, some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death. So the other ones did taste of death. That's why it says that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death, because the Lord's going to shield those particular brothers or sisters, all right, from death, and make it all the way through till the Yahweh shall crack those clouds and be what you call raptured up or beamed up in chariots, man. Let me read on. It says, "Till they have seen the kingdom of the Most High come with power." And the Lord's coming with power. Okay, and in the midst of his coming, he's going to lay this place flat. He's going to destroy this place, man. So guess what? They're going to be, the ones that's alive and remain are going to be in the midst of it. Okay, in the midst of that, the Lord coming back and destroying this place, on top of the missiles raining down on this place, man. Okay, so let's go back to 1 Thessalonians 4, and let's read 17 again from the top. It says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds." And the clouds represents what the so-called white man calls UFOs or UAPs or whatever, all right, which are the chariots of the Lord, and they do exist. Okay, it reads on, "To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord." So those that are alive and remain, key word remain, because some are going to die for this truth. Some are going to die not taking that MOTB, man, because that's coming. Everybody's going to be tested with that. And if you take it, pursuing a Revelation, the 14th chapter, you are going to be destroyed. There is no escaping it, man. Okay? You cannot escape the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai. Let's get 1 Corinthians 15. Get to that point. Start at verse 51, and read on down to verse 52. Okay? This is 1 Corinthians 15, start at verse 51. It says, behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Right? Your bodies are going to be changed while you beamed up, man. Okay? It says, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, right? At the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, right? The dead again, okay? And we shall be changed, okay? So, like I said, the 1 Thessalonians 4, the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. So, confirming it right here, the dead shall rise. They're going to be raised incorruptible, man. Okay? Right along with the ones that's alive and remain, their body's going to be changed too. Okay? And they're going to be incorruptible. Their body's going to be made incorruptible, man. Okay? So, there are those that's going to die. Okay? Not taking that MOTB. Meaning what? They finna go through that tribulation. They gotta be tested. That's gonna be the ultimate test. Let's go ahead and get into Revelations, the 3rd chapter. Okay? Revelations 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Patience is synonymous with what? Suffering. We're required to suffer. We're required to be chastised. If you're not chastised, you're a bastard. Okay? Let's get there real quick. And we're going to go back. Hebrews, the 12th chapter. And what's that? The 6th verse. Yep. Hebrews 12 and 6. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. Right. Correcting, man. Okay? He puts hell on them because he loves them. All right? You rapture believers ain't going through no kind of chastisement. You ain't going through no kind of hell. What hell are you going through, man? Okay? Other than the men of the Lord that's really sincerely doing his work, risking their lives out there on the line, you know, being ridiculed, scoffed at, mocked at, etc. You know, catching pure hell, man. Y'all not going through shit. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receives. See that? Verse 7, it says, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Right, you ain't no son. What he's going to call you? Verse 8, it says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, right? All are partakers, right? It says, then ye are bastards and not sons. So you got to be a partaker of the chastisements of Yahweh Shema Shai when you come to serve the Lord. Okay, the scripture says, Sirach, the 2nd chapter, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. If not, hey, I just read it. You're a bastard, man. Let me read this again from the top. It says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. So the Lord ain't going to receive you as a son, man. Okay? Sons or daughters, really. Okay? Calling yourself a believer of the Bible and you believe in some bullshit rapture, man. You're not going through shit. Okay? There's requirements in this thing, man. And this is part of the requirement. You got to be chastised. You got to be really proven. Verse 12, it says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. We got to give the Most High reverence for correcting us, man. All right? Because I guarantee you, a lot of you so-called rapture believers, you go through any type of hell that the men of the Lord go through, man. Hey, you'll want to kill yourself, man. You'll want to kill yourself. Okay? You can't walk old saying, you can't walk a mile in our shoes, man. It reads on, shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Verse 10, it says, for they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit. See? But he for our profit, and we might be partakers of his holiness. So he requires us to be chastised, man. Point blank, period. It says, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. Right. It's not fun going through chastisements. It's not fun, catching hell. Okay. So again, it says, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. See? Nevertheless, after it yieldeth the peaceable fruits of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Right? It molds you, man. Okay? It makes you a better man. Okay? It makes you a better man going through afflictions and chastening. And we definitely going to be chastened and persecuted, all right, when we resist the MOTB. We're going to be truly tested. Okay? We're going to be truly tested. So that's all I'm going to read there. Okay? Let me go back to Revelations, the 3rd chapter, and the 10th verse. From the top again, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Right? Keeping the word of, the word of his patience, right? He's going to keep us from the hour of temptation. He's going to shield us from taking that MOTB, which a lot of you rapture believers or you Christians in general, you're going to end up taking it. Because you got a lot of so-called Bible believers that say, I'm not going to take the MOTB. I'm not going to take it. Because a lot of you do know what it is, which is a shame on you pseudo-Israelite groups out there that teach against it. But anyways, like I said, y'all do know what it is, but y'all going to end up taking it because you're not going through any type of hell. You're not really being built and rooted up in the faith. Your faith is not really being tested right now, okay? It's not really being molded to perfection like he's doing the men of the Lord that's teaching the sound doctrine, all right? So again, this part says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and this is a key point, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So that word world comes from the Greek oikoumene, which means the whole entire planet Earth. That means everybody. Again, it's going to be tried with this MOTB, man. Everybody. Okay? Verse 11, it says, behold, I come quickly. The Lord is coming quickly because this thing is being pushed. Okay? This thing is coming into fruition. It says, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And the elect is not going to let nobody take that crown, man. That's the goal, getting that crown, getting everlasting life. Okay? You rapture believers ain't going to have no crown, man. Okay? Because you're not properly going through the protocol of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Okay? You don't think you got to go through a proper protocol, which is going through the tribulation, catching hell, being chastised, man. Okay? Verse 12, it says, him that overcometh will I make him, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power. See? And he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power. A lot of you don't even know the name of the true power, man. The name of God, so to speak. The true name of the Most High. It says, and it reads on, in the name of the city of my power, or God, which is New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem represents the elect. The elect of who? The nation of Israel. Not everybody can be saved, man. All nations cannot be saved. Only Israelites. In particular, the elect, the remnant. Okay? It says, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon them my new name. Meaning it's going to be refreshed. Okay? So they're going to come down from those ships. Okay? Once they get beamed up, being saved from the destruction. Okay? So again, if you take that MOTB, you will be destroyed. Okay? Because a lot of you going to so-called lose your religion when this thing come to pass, man. You rapture believers, man. Okay? Y'all are not going to be willing to die for what you believe in. There's going to be martyrs, like I said, in this truth. And the true men, or a few of you sisters, going to die for what we truly believe in here at Great Millstone, and the other brothers that teach the same like-minded doctrine. So I'm going to end it right here. Okay, I'm gonna end it with this scripture right here, Revelations 20:4, proving furthermore that you're gonna have martyrs, okay, that's gonna go through this tribulation and refuse to take the MOTB. Okay, Revelations 20:4 says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. See? So how you going to go through that if you're raptured up? How you going to be truly proven? Okay? He's saying these individuals that did not take this is going to be saved. Not just being randomly raptured up and escaping this part of the tribulation, which is the MOTB being pushed mandatorily, which is going to be made a life and death situation. He's saying that these individuals are going to be delivered that have not received that MARK, meaning they're going through the tribulation. They're going to be here on earth. I'm going to read again from the top. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, right? And they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. Okay? They're going to die. They're going to die for this truth, man. It says, for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. That's part of that reward, man. Death. Okay, so that's backing up again what I read in 1 Thessalonians 4, where it says the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. There's going to be some that die, but guess what? They're going to be saved. They're going to be raptured up, what you call raptured up or beamed up, man. Okay, after being what? Tested. Okay, so they're going to be here on earth being tested, man. Fucking clowns. Let me see. Let me get Revelation. I actually want to get one more. I probably shouldn't have got this first, but it's all good. This is Revelation. I'm actually ending with this. Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Right? We're going to have to suffer. It says, again, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. How you going to suffer just raptured up? It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. That sounds like tribulation too. Some of us going to be thrown into prison. That's going to be a trial of our faith too, right? It says, behold, the devil shall cast. The devil is Esau, by the way, the so-called white man. All right. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, those FEMA camps, that ye may be tried. See? Tried. You got to be tried. You got to be tested. You got to be proven. It reads on, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which just represents whatever days the Lord give you, complete amount of days the Lord give you. It could be 10. It could be less than that. It could be more than that. But whatever a lot the Lord give you to be tested, how many amount of days, that's what you're going to be tested with. Okay? So again, it says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. It says, be thou faithful unto death, man. It says in Sirach 4:28, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So, hey, you got to be tested even unto death. That's what that means, man. Okay? A lot of us are going to be tested even unto death, or the majority of us, man, that really believe, all right, in this word, that really believe in Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. It says, and I will give thee a crown of life. So you ain't just going to get a crown by not going through the tribulation, not being tested with the MOTB. No, you going through it. I just read in Revelation 3 and 10. That word world means ointment. It's from the Greek ointment. It means the whole entire planet. It means everybody. Everybody's going to go through that hour of temptation, man. Okay? So I'm going to end it here. Hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to sign off by saying again, all praises and glorifications goes to Yahweh, Shemel, Shabbat, Shemer, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that great minister and well. Peace, love, citation to the hopeful elect. Got the four corners of earth, preacher's word and truth and sincerity. I said, Shalom and Kwam Yashala, Shalom.